Parent Killer Psychopath Video Analysis. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. If you have not watched my analysis of Virginia McCullough, I'd encourage you to do so. It's on this channel. Virginia McCullough was recently sentenced to life in prison. She committed the crime of parricide, which is comparatively rare. That is the murder of both parents. The murder of your father is patricide. The murder of your mother is matricide. But when it comes to murdering both of your parents, it's called parricide. And not only is that a comparatively rare crime in itself, but also it's unusual that it's committed by a woman. But Virginia McCullough poisoned her father, John McCullough, with sleeping pills before beating her mother, Lois McCullough, and then stabbing her to death. My analysis tells you more about what went on, and more importantly, goes into detail as to what Virginia McCullough is, and you'll find that extremely instructive. Here we have some video footage which helps you understand more about the demeanour of this particular individual, demonstrating various aspects of her psychopathy in action. The footage is body cam footage which has been released by Essex Police when McCullough was held in a cell and was being questioned about the circumstances of what she had done. It's compelling material. I'm going to play it for you now, and then I'm going to break down what it is that you witness. Here comes the footage.
So, murder weapon is upstairs in the toilet room, kitchen knife. It's in the middle of the brown carpet, against the wall, opposite the shelves. So there are two long white shelves. So opposite where that wall is, that's where the knife is. So next bit is very hard to talk about. That's probably the most grisly detail. So on the ground floor, underneath the stairs, there's a few like storage boxes and things. And in the middle, I think it's in one of the boxes or in a bag or something. If you want me to shush after this, it's fine. But every bit helps. You will find forensic clips helpful. There's a hammer. I know, but I'm trying to help so you find everything. It's in the middle, underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it. So not cooperating is it's futile. Yeah. There's no point in not cooperating, there really isn't. And plus, apart from which anyway, I should take what I've done. That's the other side of the coin, I think. So, yeah.
Now, before I get into the analysis of the behaviour of Virginia McCullough, you'll be pleased to know that you can look forward to forthcoming analyses of other individuals who have committed crimes, those that have killed, so that you can understand what those individuals are. This will also include other individuals who have been convicted of parricide, some notable examples throughout recent history. There will, of course, be other killers, other criminals that will be subjected to my analysis also, giving you a comprehensive breakdown of the behaviours and what it all means. So you've got that to look forward to. Here we have Virginia McCullough. You can see in the thumbnail two pictures of her, the one where she's in the cell and the other where she's more made up and looks quite different. Here you'll see that she's quite relaxed. She's sat down. She's not pacing backwards and forwards. She's not remonstrating. She's not shouting. She's not pulling at her hair, jabbing her finger forward. She sat there as if she was having a cup of tea with the vicar. More tea, vicar? She is in a cell. She is having her liberty threatened. And as I explained in the detailed analysis, you're not looking at a narcissist who has their need for control being threatened by being held in a cell and being questioned by a police officer. You have a psychopath. For her, it's stimulating being asked about what she's done. And she's very matter-of-fact about it. Her demeanour is as if she was be discussing what she'd eaten for dinner, or how she went about preparing what she'd eaten for dinner. She seems relaxed. Many of you, if you found yourself arrested in a police cell, would be nervous, agitated, concerned. You might be concerned because you know what you had done and the ramifications of it. You could be concerned because you might not necessarily know why you were there and be worrying about what was going to happen. There's no such concern here, which demonstrates the psychopathy of Virginia McCullough, because she's entirely relaxed in the circumstances of the interaction that she is having. She's in a police cell, but she could quite simply be sat in an armchair at home, as mentioned, pouring a cup of tea for the local vicar as she discusses her contribution to the local fete for repairing the church roof. She's open in what she's saying. She doesn't feel challenged. She's not irritated, not angered, but is very much matter of fact, which is demonstrative of the manner by which she has no emotional empathy. What she's talking about, many people would determine as rather unpleasant and grisly, but to her, she could be telling you the day's football results or the ingredients for a chili con carne. She states, "So the murder weapon is upstairs by this room and kitchen. It's in the middle of the brown carpet, against the wall, opposite the shelves. So there are two long white shelves, so opposite where that wall is, that's where the knife is." Explains it straightforward as if she was giving you directions to the nearest pub. She then moves on to state, so the next bit is very hard to talk about. That's probably the most grisly detail. In actual fact, it's not hard for her to talk about at all. What she's actually saying is, this might be difficult for you to hear. It's her attempt to fit in by suggesting that she recognises that it's grisly detail. But this is the woman that offed her parents, poisoning one, bludgeoning the other, and when that didn't work, stabbing her, and then kept them in the property for 4 years. Grisly is something that she can only comprehend as a concept. She doesn't experience the disgust associated with it. You may recall from my separate analyses that basically her father was placed in a makeshift mausoleum with breeze blocks around him and covered up in packing, and her mother was packed in a sleeping bag and more packing and then shoved in a wardrobe, which was then shut and with breeze blocks placed in front of it. The smell would have been rancid, but she did this as if she was stacking a shelf in a local supermarket, which demonstrates that when she talks about it being grisly, she understands that certain people find certain behaviours grisly, but she doesn't. She doesn't bat an eyelid in relation to it. You'll notice that while she's speaking, she is wiping her eyes, and you might think that she's wiping away tears, but she isn't. Not tears of upset. It might be that she's got something in her eyes and that she's wiping them clear. But do not think that that is her expressing any form of remorse or that she's actually upset. She isn't. She goes on to state, so on the ground floor underneath the stairs, there's a few like storage boxes and things, and in the middle, I think it's in one of the boxes or in a bag or something. There. If you want me to shush after this, it's fine, but every bit helps you. You'll find forensically it's helpful there's a hammer. I know, but I'm trying to help you find everything. It's in the middle underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it. So not cooperating is futile. There's no point in not cooperating. There really isn't. Plus not much anyway I should take away, so that's the other side of the coin. I think so, yeah. All matter of fact. All to the point. You might think, why is it that she's being so helpful when she's in effect condemning herself? But the fact is, she knows that she's caught, and she knows that there's no point in trying to resist that. Indeed, she actually finds the process of telling the officers about where the murder weapons are interesting, and it provides her with a stimulation. Were she a narcissist, of course, this would be a threat to control, and therefore she would be far more likely to deny any involvement and would be much more agitated at being kept in a cell. Here, the main concern is seeking some stimulation and driving back the boredom. Because she doesn't care what she's done, because for her, on the scale for her, she might as well, as I mentioned earlier, be making a chili con carne. What she actually wants is to be able to talk about it because she wants to engage with the officers, because she finds it interesting now to be able to tell somebody about what she's done. This isn't an unburdening by her. It isn't her letting go of her sense of guilt. Not at all. She wants to talk about it because in the same way somebody might talk to you about their collection of Star Wars figures that they've had from since they were a child, she wants to talk about this because it's interesting to her, that it's stimulating to discuss what she's done. It's not even actually being done as a boast. It's too matter-of-fact for that. Some psychopaths, because of their narcissistic traits, would boast about what they had done. But for her, in this instance, it isn't boasting. There is no grandiosity. It's simple matter of fact, because she finds the whole process interesting to talk about. And thus she chats away, explaining, so it's here and you'll find it there, and basically I'm just calling it as it is because there's no point really denying anything, is there? And I'm just trying to be helpful because she wants to prompt a response, because she wants some feedback in terms of not fuel but stimulation. This calm demeanour and matter-of-fact response captured in this video evidence is demonstrative of the psychopathy of Virginia McCullough and is most useful to analyse. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.